Hey y'all, so I just want to do a quick video in reference to my experience of almost being stuck into a timeshare. So me and my husband, typically we would sometimes do timeshare promotions. Often we did one for like Orlando, Destin, maybe we did like two prior to us actually doing one for our trip to Las Vegas. So it was a couple years ago, well, a few years ago, and we were celebrating our anniversary. We were celebrating my graduation. It was also celebrating me obtaining a new job, right? So get to Las Vegas, and we was on like this promotion for like $199 at a hotel. Well, I'm sorry, it was more of like it was a real nice hotel. I don't think it was a resort exactly, but it was a hotel on the strip. Really nice. I can't remember. I don't think it was a Hilton, but I can't remember actually company name, the brand. So got to the hotel. We stayed for like a week. And you know, if you ever did one of those timeshare promotions, in order to finalize that special price at the end of your trip, you have to complete the like timeshare presentation. So it's like a presentation you have to attend. I want to say the presentation is like 2 hours long, if I can recall properly. So we went to the timeshare presentation, and I don't know, I think it was just the excitement of the experience. This was the first time me and my husband flew. This was the first time we've been to Las Vegas, you know, just things of that nature. So we was just with a lot of excitement, right? Usually, like I said, when we go to these timeshares, we say no. The timeshare presentations, we would say no. This particular one was a little different. So did the timeshare, we was at the timeshare presentation, and the guy is like, you know, our representative, they show you a room, if I can remember properly, you know, show you all these different options you may have, the different trips you could go on, you know, stuff like that, right? So the representative that we had, of course, he was very like persuasive, you know, good talk game, right? So then after that, we go down to the area where they give you like the different prices that you would be paying monthly, and you know, things of that. So the representative, you know, kept giving us like different monthly numbers, you know, how much it would be for us to pay monthly, right? You know, so I recall him going from like $300 a month. We was like, no, we're, like I said, we typically so used to saying no. And usually when we have done it prior to the Las Vegas trip, I was like in school and stuff like that. So we knew financially we couldn't take on one other, you know, bill or responsibility. So anywho, the representative kept playing with the numbers in front of us, right? So he got it down to like, I want to say it was like 102 or something to that nature. So I was like, oh, yeah, okay, we can do that. Okay, you know, you travel, right? So before we gave an answer, another couple said yes. So, you know, they rang the bell, So that's when we said yes. Said yes, they rung the bell, celebration, woo, woo, woo. Quickly took us back to sign paperwork. Signed the paperwork, or like a stack of paper. Signed the paperwork. We get back to the hotel, you know, we walking back to the hotel, because like I said, the hotel was on the strip. Walking back to the hotel, we talking about it, we kind of excited about it, You know, at this time, we only had my oldest. So we like, okay, this would be cool, you know, something to do. We could just travel when we want to, because this is how they advertise it, right? So get home, and some just told me to like Google up timeshares. Googled up timeshares, saw all the bad reviews, saw how it's a scam. They'll get you stuck for years. Their parents had it, and I think like their house had ended up like had to get put up for sale because they had to be able to afford those timeshare payments. Just a bunch of negative reviews, right? So I'm like, okay. So I talked to my husband about it, tell him about the reviews I read. You know, we like, okay, maybe it's just the reviews. You know, maybe it's just bad experiences with some people. I don't know. So anywho, the next day came. So we were already at that time, I want to say 3 days in to the contract. Well, yeah, 3 days into the contract that we signed. So I came across this review that said you have up to 7 days to get out the contract. So I'm like, okay, we were already, like I said, was on I think the third day, if I'm not mistaken. So on the third day, then that's when I kept still reading reviews, bad, negative reviews. I really read nothing positive at all that I can recall. So that's when I was like, okay. Now, anywho, continue to just be like, even after reading that, I was like, okay. So I remember I remember praying. It had to been like that fourth night. I remember praying, and after praying, went to sleep or whatever. And I don't recall dreaming anything, like vividly dreaming anything or remembering anything I dreamed. I just remember sweating. And I remember waking up in sweat. And the only thing I could think about that a decision that I made recently was that timeshare. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna take this as a sign to get out. We gotta work on getting out of this timeshare and figure out how to get out of it. So I Googled up what to do, the steps to get out of the timeshare. You have to complete a document just stating the reason why you wanted to get out of the timeshare, and you have to have it notarized. So because me and my husband both signed the contract, we both had to, be in front of the notary. So I got with I think I want to say it was FedEx notary services, remote notary services. And so we did the notarization, and the document was emailed to us complete. And so after that, I went. Now at this time, that had to be maybe the 5th day, I want to say. I went and took it to FedEx. Did the express shipping, and it was okay, up to 1 or 2 business days. They gave me a business day of the business day it would have been of the arrival would have been literally the 7th day of the contract. So I'm like, okay, paid for it, paid for the express shipping. So then I recall getting on Google again. Came across a review where review was me and my wife had did a contract, and so they was we did the notarization document, we sent it, and they turned around and said that they did not receive the document, even though they had evidence that it was shipped properly, it was received properly, and the timeshare company representative had signed off on the document stating that it was received. They still stated that they did not receive the document, and they ended up being stuck in the contract. I was like, oh, no ma'am. So next thing you know, what I did, it was literally this was the 6th, no. This had to have been the 6th day, I want to say. This was the 6th day, and I booked us a flight. Back to Las Vegas. I told my husband nothing about it. He was at work. I booked a flight for me and my son. My son had never flew before. So I said, you know what? This would be the perfect time. Perfect time for my son to, first time flying, his first time in Las Vegas as well. And we're going to go cancel this contract. So got there. We did a round-way trip. So we got there, if I can recall, I want to say we left from our hometown that morning. Left that morning. We ended up doing an overlay in Charlotte. Did an overlay in Charlotte. Got to Vegas, I want to say that night. Got to Vegas that night at the airport. We slept at the airport. That next morning, which was literally the 7th day of the contract, I knew that the place opened at 8 a.m. Me and my son woke up, went to the restroom, restrooms, freshened up, grabbed us some breakfast, and caught an Uber to the office of the timeshare. Knocking on the door, which was another review I read. They said that it would give you a hard time, even getting in to cancel the contract. I'm knocking on the door, This is literally the 7th day of the contract. Finally got let in. Talked with the representative, letting them know that I was there to in person cancel the contract. So while I'm there canceling the contract, literally FedEx walked in with the notarized document for me and my spouse. Next thing you know, the representative signed up on the document, and she was like, "This is your document. So you had it shipped here as well? You had the document shipped here and you flew back here as well?" "Yes, ma'am, I did." "Yes, ma'am, I did." So then they was like, you know, okay, well, what we're going to do is we're going to send this document to the office as well that you actually signed with the specialist there. We will send that document with them as well, and then that's when the specialist cancel. I said, okay. We called the Uber, got an Uber to take me to that other office that she was pertaining to. I looked for the exact found the exact representative that I signed the document. We signed the document with, and canceled again. I just had to make sure it was canceled. But anywho, I say all that to say that was another experience that I really experienced the Most High. My God, that I have faith in. At that time, my relationship with him wasn't as strong as it is today. But that was another experience that I had that he just literally like saved me off of the you know, the basic understanding that I did of my own, and, you know, just making my own decisions. He literally saved me from that, because that timeshare stuff is no joke. And I'm like, and to this day, I'm like, that is something I could have been stuck in for years. So I say all that to say, have faith, have faith, have faith. And I'm so thankful for all that my God has done for me. Until next time, chat with y'all later. Y'all bless.